Today on Dr. Phil.
My husband threw me away like a piece of trash.
Did you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
He had a midlife crisis.
What happened? Did you just wake up stupid one morning?
So she had one too.
This man, when I met him, my legs buckled.
Did you spend the weekend with him?
I spent the week with him.
Well, plot thickens.
Her husband was ready to call it quits.
When he asked me for a divorce, I told him he needed to get his testosterone levels checked. I just thought, maybe he's dipping. Women dip, they go up and down and they dip. And I thought maybe Danny was dipping.
Now he wants her back.
You want to put this back together, even though you blew it up.
Yes.
She took up with another man, and instantly, your midlife crisis was over. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Both of you, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How you doing? Thanks, guys. All right. Well, my first guest, Judy, says that she had the perfect husband for the first 30 years of marriage. They shared date nights, vacations, weekends, camping, and trips to Disney World with their precious daughter. Judy says her husband was her soulmate and he was her best friend. And Danny agrees. He says, look, it was a true fairy tale marriage until last year when he says he turned into a complete monster. That's what he says. Now he's here to find out if the damage he's done to his relationship can ever be repaired. Take a look.
My marriage was a wonderful marriage. Every marriage has its ups and downs. We didn't have very many downs.
Judy and I had a picture-perfect marriage. I believe we were made for each other.
In my mind, I thought things started to change when his father passed away.
Last year, when I turned 53, I felt like I was at the end of my life, and you just want to live every day like it's your last day.
I didn't know what was going on with my husband. He started not coming home from work until later in the evening. I said, why would you not come home after you're working 12 hours?
When I had the midlife crisis mindset, just breaking the normal routine was a sense of freedom for me, wanting to do what I wanted, when I wanted to do it, for as long as I wanted to do it.
I would try my best to shake his being. I love you, why are you doing this? And it didn't rock it. I said, you're like an ice man. You're so cold and distant. Are you in there? And then he started getting angry.
Just really didn't want anybody to question me for what I was doing or where I had been. Normal things in life would make me angry. Always had a lot of questions in my head swirling around like a tornado.
He would always go downstairs and make coffee and donuts, and he would bring it up to me before he went to work. And he kissed me goodbye, I love you, baby, have a good day, and off he would go. That evening, he came home. He says, Judy, I want to tell you something. I want a divorce. I don't want to be the perfect husband. I just want to live a single life. But everything's going to be okay. And he laughed at me. I said, what is wrong with you? And that's when it started to fall apart.
I did tell her I wanted a divorce, but I cannot remember anything about that day. It is a blur.
There were no real signs. I just thought my husband was being challenged with mourning the death of his father.
After I asked Judy for a divorce, I stayed 5 more months before I actually moved out.
Danny had become very secretive. I hired a private investigator because I thought my husband was mentally ill. The private investigator told me that a woman had stayed the night at Danny's house.
When Judy questioned me about the other woman, I did lie to her.
He was furious. He was so upset, he pulled out of the driveway cussing me. Danny never cussed me. And that's when it really started going bad.
Well, Judy says when she found out that Danny was having an affair, she raged in a way she never thought she was capable of.
Judy came to the house, knocked on the door. I didn't let her come in because there was someone else there.
I thought it was odd he wasn't answering the door, but his truck was there. I went into Danny's truck and retrieved his cell phone. I started reading all these text messages from the girl he was seeing. Love you, Tiger. Gonna be blonde tonight. I'm scared. You gonna hurt me? I was standing there reading these messages, and Danny walked over to me and grabbed my arm, and something in me just let loose. I just took my fist and beat my husband in his head.
She did hit me quite a few times upside the head and in the face.
I got back in the car and I left and went to a parking place and just cried and screamed. I called 3 people to let them know that if I go to jail, please come bail me out, because my husband will probably press charges against me.
Okay, I know why he's here. You want to put this back together?
Absolutely.
No question about it?
No question.
Whatever it takes, you want to put this back
Whatever
together?
it takes.
Even though you blew it up?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you here?
I need help. I look at him and my heart loves him, but I'm so mad at him. I don't know if this can be fixed.
Well, other than the day you whopped him upside the head several times, have you told him how you feel?
Absolutely, I have. Absolutely, I have told him. I've told him, you know.
What have you told him?
I've told him, how could you do this? We have a beautiful family. You know, your actions destroyed everything that we have lived for. You know, the woman, just everything that he has done. And I'm thinking, how can the love of my life just throw me away like a piece of trash and not look back? He had no emotion. He was not sincere. He didn't love me. He was just so angry. So I don't know. I don't know if this is a marriage that can be repaired. So I'm here to ask you for some guidance, some teaching tools.
Now, you wrote me an email at one point that was lengthy and thoughtful, and you had no question that you wanted to fix this.
At that time, I had no question.
Okay, at that time.
I was still loving my husband, yes.
Right. And like I say, it was lengthy and thoughtful. I mean, you were very introspective. You talked about your feelings, what you wanted to do. We've heard from you as well. So why did you do this? What happened? Did you just wake up stupid one morning? What
Pretty
happened?
much, yes.
Because that's how you describe it, right? You said, I don't know. I just...
That feeling and mindset consumed me fairly quickly. And I had no idea what the definition of a midlife crisis was at that time.
Well, what is that? You said you didn't know what midlife crisis was. I still don't know what that means. You hear it a lot, you see it a lot, but what is that?
After the fact, after I'd read a lot of stuff she had put on the computer, it's a life-changing events, like getting out of a routine or a schedule, doing things you normally would not do, things of that nature. And that just pretty much described me A to Z, the symptoms that I had.
I have every card that he's ever given me, 33 years worth. I left him a Valentine's card on the counter, telling him that I still loved him. He threw it away in the trash.
And later, she took up with another man, and instantly, your midlife crisis was over. Well, we posted a poll on Facebook asking, do you believe that men can really have a midlife crisis? Almost 90% of you said yes, and 11% said no. So most people, and you would certainly vote yes.
Yes.
At that point, you said you wanted to live every day like it was your last.
That's the feeling that you get, yes.
You felt a rush, like you had to do something today.
Adrenaline, even when you were tired, you still had adrenaline. That was one of the reasons for not coming home right after work. Just didn't want to end the day.
You had said there wasn't enough time in the day.
Not enough time in the day.
The days weren't long enough, he said.
Right. Well, but they were long enough to get a mistress, and yours were long enough to get a PI.
Yes.
So
that did eventually come, yes.
Right. Now, you left her a note. I have the note here, this note. Tell me about this note.
At that point, I had begged my husband, threw myself at him, trying to save the marriage. And I come home one day, and there was this note that basically said to me, move on with your life. Find a friend, find a boyfriend, be happy, because I'm moving on.
Yeah, well, I have the note. It was interesting. I mean, you said, at one point, you said, quote, I'm moving on with my life. I don't need your permission. I will do the divorce with or without your
He
permission.
did say that.
I suggest you move forward. Find a friend or whatever. Protect yourself and be careful.
In other words, he was giving me, in his mind, he was giving me the right to move on in my life, to find either a partner in life, because he didn't want any parts of that anymore.
Right. Did you have a girlfriend at that point?
I'm not sure exactly the time that letter was written.
You did.
It was on...
I do remember writing it, but not...
4 days after Valentine's Day.
Yes.
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 This year.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah. 4 days after
That was probably the beginning.
Valentine's Day.
I know, because I left him a Valentine's card on the counter telling
Well-
him that I still loved him. Yeah, I did.
So you remember that.
I do. He threw it away in the trash. He did. It was hard. I have every card that he's ever given me. 33 years worth. Yeah.
And he threw yours in the trash.
He didn't want it. He wanted no parts of it. I didn't get any flowers or box of candy or a card, because he always said in his cards, "I love you, baby. You're my world." You know, so I didn't get that. That was just the beginning of the mess, the nightmare. Danny can't remember a lot of things that he did to me. That's what's so scary about this. He can't remember his temperaments. He can't remember how he treated me. You know, and that's what was scary, because I thought there was something mentally wrong with him.
Maybe there is.
Well, that's why I hired a private investigator. I thought the private investigator was going to tell me that my husband is mentally ill, that he's depressed, and all he's doing is going to work. I knew he was going to tell me that.
Well, a lot of times we use doctors for that.
Well, I had taken him, you know, it's funny you say that, because when he asked me for a divorce, I told him he needed to get his testosterone levels checked. I just thought, you know, maybe he's dipping. You know, women dip, they go up and down and they dip. And I thought maybe Danny was dipping. I didn't know that a man could but he did. He was dipping. And I thought, well, we're going to find out. So I took him to his family the family physician.
Yes.
And they did blood work. And that day I told the doctor, I said, there's something wrong with my husband. There's something wrong with him.
He's dipping.
Can't you help him? You know? And she said, well, his blood tests come back okay. Everything's okay. And that's when I told her that there was something terribly wrong with this man. Because you don't stay married 31 years and live the beautiful life that we had, and all of a sudden, he's just ready to toss it in the trash and walk away from everything. His daughter, his grandchildren, me, his partner in life. This man worshiped the ground I walked on. He held my hand 33 years. Now, a night never went by that man didn't kiss me when he went to bed. We went to bed at the same time. We took baths together every night. You don't do that.
We did.
You know, how many people can say they take a bath with their husband every night?
We probably had a connection.
Certainly not my wife. I haven't had a bath in 40 years. Take a crane to get me out of there.
We probably had a connection a few couples have.
Yeah.
Our connection that we had, I don't know of too many people that have it. It's like, you know, they wonder if we're both sick. I don't know.
And that comes to the point that I don't understand how it happened either. This
Well, we're going to talk
mindset.
about that.
Okay.
Let's take a break here. Judy took the note to heart. She did. He said, you need to find yourself a friend. She did. And is now caught between two lovers. We'll be right back.
I met a gentleman. It was a total instant attraction. When Danny found out that I was away with a man, he was going to drive to get me and make me come home. I'm on vacation with another man because my husband threw me away like a piece of trash.
Well, Danny says his midlife crisis hit at age 53, and in an instant, he decided to end his 30-year-long, too-good-to-be-true marriage to Judy. Now, after 10 devastating months, Judy says, she said, I got to start my life again. So she joined a dating website and met a man who she says she cannot stop thinking about.
I decided after 10 months that I needed to move forward with my life. I knew that he was not coming back, that he didn't want me. I was sitting on my couch Sunday evening, and I was on Match.com, and I decided to join.
Judy signed on to an online dating site and did tell me how many hits she got. The purpose behind that was to try and make me jealous.
I met a gentleman on Match.com. We had a phone conversation, and he did want to meet me. I walked up to him, embraced him, and I had not felt that way for a long time. It was a total instant attraction. My knees buckled when he grabbed me. This man changed everything. That first date was a wonderful week of my life. He took me away on vacation, and we just enjoyed each other's company.
I came over to the house. Judy had left me a note on the counter that she had met someone and had gone away for the weekend.
Something woke up inside of him, and he realized that his wife was no longer there.
I did call her, crying to her on the phone, asking her to come back home, to forgive me, and telling her that I wanted her back in my life.
When Danny found out that I was away with a man, he was going to drive to get me and make me come home. He was calling my family, he was calling me, and it got to the point where Lawrence told me to turn the phone off. I'm on vacation with another man because my husband threw me away like a piece of trash. He didn't want me anymore.
Well, plot thickens. So that was a big step for you to go on a dating website.
It was.
Because like you said, 33 years together, 30 years of marriage. Then all of a sudden you're with a stranger.
I had been waiting for 10 months, and it was to the point where I just could not do it anymore. I thought I had waited long enough. This man showed no emotion. He showed me that he wasn't going to come home. So when I decided to go on that website and go on a date, which is something I had not hardly ever done in my life because I'd been with Danny, it was something new and exciting. And this man, when I met this man, he was genuine. And we met, and I actually, the day we met, that day, he threw his driver's license up on the table. He said, take a picture of this, send it to your mother, your brother, your sister, I'm taking you away. And I said, no, you're not. We went to dinner, had a really long dinner. That evening, he says, so you're going to go away with me? I said, yeah, what time you picking me up? And he took me away. We had a beautiful time, and immediately, this man just grabbed hold of my heart. I never wanted another man to touch me. I never wanted another man. I never wanted anybody else but Danny. You know, he's all I wanted.
I wasn't gone 10 months either.
Well, it was almost, it
I
was.
didn't move out until February.
I know, but you asked for the divorce in September.
Emotionally not
Listen,
there.
I'm going to try to help you here, but this ain't about the math, okay? This is not about calendar math.
It's been like 10 years to me. It might have been 2 months, but it was 10 months.
Okay, was this the first man that you met when you went on the dating site?
No, I met one other gentleman for lunch. We had a lunch date, and
Didn't click?
no, because it wasn't anything I was looking for. I wasn't looking for a husband or a lover, or I was looking to get out of the house to find a friendship.
What was the difference between the first guy you met for lunch and the second guy you went away with?
Well, the second guy I went away with, when I met him, my legs buckled. He grabbed the hold of me. He grabbed a hold of me when I got out of the car at the racetrack, and he just grabbed a hold of me and says, come on, girl, we're going to go in here and talk. And we spent the whole afternoon into the evening together. And I felt so safe. It was a feeling I'd not had for a very long time. Yeah. I mean, your legs just don't buckle when you meet people. No. And I work around a lot of men, professional people. Yeah. So this is not anything that is normal.
This was the first buckle.
Absolutely, it was. It was.
Yeah. In two ways?
Yes.
I mean, did you spend the weekend with him?
I spent the week with him.
The week?
I did.
Yeah.
And Danny, when he found that letter, because I asked him to watch the house. Nobody knew that I was going anywhere except for my sister. And I left on a counter Lawrence's information on the counter in case I disappeared. Because you don't know when you go away with a man, you don't know if he's going to bring you back.
Right. You left a note to him to keep an eye on the house?
I did.
You were going, did you tell him where you were going?
No,
Did you tell me you're going with a man?
No.
You said, I'm out of here.
I said, I'm going to go away for a while. Please watch the house. I'll be back. I might have even put that I'll be back the following weekend or something.
Yeah.
And then on the other counter, I left all Lawrence's contact information, the color of his truck, his driver's license, in case, you know, his website, you know, in case I disappeared. And I told my sister, I said, I'm going to go away. And I said, there's information on the counter if I don't come back.
So you just wanted, that wasn't really safety, you just wanted to know who to electrocute if you didn't come back.
Right, if I didn't come back home.
Okay,
right.
Who to catch and kill.
Who to come look for.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is it my understanding, there's no country song that says, how can I miss you if you won't leave? She left.
She did.
She took up with another man.
She did.
And instantly, your midlife crisis was over. You texted Lawrence and told him to back off.
I love this woman more now than ever.
How can she know that it's not going to happen again next month or next year? Danny says when he found out Judy was on a weekend-long date with another man, he suddenly, in his words, in an instant, wanted Judy back. Now, here's an excerpt from a note that he wrote to her to try to get her back. He said, quote, my tornado has stopped. The trigger was you might be with someone else, and that made me realize how much I love you. I am more in love with you now. I was never going to divorce you. That's why I never took any more furniture. I was just being an with my temper, but it is all gone. I will get you anything. Rings, cars, or we can travel anywhere. I have made one mistake in 33 years. I think I deserve a second chance. We're humans, not machines. We can start with counseling again. And you texted Lawrence and told him to back off.
At that very weekend, the same weekend she went away, I told him that, yes, I did. The number was on the counter. I did text him, and I asked him to, as man to man, please back off. Let me try and fix my marriage. We have a daughter, grandchildren.
Did you know that he got a text?
Yes, Lawrence told me that he had texted Danny, and he wanted to know how Danny got the text number. Because if I did not give it to him, that he was, you know, he didn't really like that. But he did tell Danny that Danny is the one that brought the evil into the marriage, and that he wasn't going to walk away unless I told him to. He had no intentions of giving in to Danny.
So now you are completely clear on what you want to do.
Absolutely.
You want your marriage back together, your relationship back together, you want your wife back, you want to get back to this unreal life that you had before.
Yes, I am 10 times more appreciative of what I had or maybe still have than ever before. I love this woman more now than ever. Even after 33 years being together, my love is probably 10 times stronger. Obviously, because I've been waiting and just waiting for her to maybe, I never know when the next day she might wake up and say, I want to fix things with my husband again. So I'm more appreciative of my life, my wife, my beautiful family.
Okay, but since you don't have any insight into why you just woke up and turned into a monster or whatever.
No.
Iceman.
Iceman, monster, got stupid, whatever we call it.
My brother has a version of it. He's a Christian man. He says maybe the devil's tried to divert you because of you coming closer to Christ, and I can't. He's my brother, and I can't ignore what he's saying.
Well, no, but I don't think the devil made me do it's going to get you.
No, I'm not saying that's what happened. That's his version of what he thinks.
I don't. Listen, I'm very much a Christian, and I don't make light of any of that at all. But I also, you know what foxhole Christians are, right?
Yes.
Yeah, foxhole Christians. It's like two guys in a foxhole, and the shells are coming in. He says, "Are you a Christian?" His buddy says, "Well, I am tonight."
There's no atheist in a foxhole.
Yeah, exactly. But since you don't have insight into why this happened to begin with, how can she know that it's not going to happen again next month or next year? Because it seems, it's and I don't mean to, this is not an insult to you, it's just, please, but You see this, if there's a dog in the backyard and they've got a toy or a bone over there, it can lay there forever and the dog not have any interest into it. But you let another dog walk in that gate and walk over to that toy or bone, and you got you a dog fight going on, because the dog wasn't interested in the toy or the bone till another dog was. Then all of a sudden he wants to repossess it, he wants to re-own it. But then as soon as he does, then it loses its interest to him again. And that she's got to be thinking here, okay, so he instantly wanted me back when somebody else showed an interest in me, but he sure didn't for months before that. So now he repossesses me, the other dog walks out of the yard, and then I'm just over there again like the forgotten toy.
I understand her.
That's got to be part of your concern, because you're saying, am I going to walk away from Lawrence and back to him?
Why would I give up a good thing and go back to something that almost destroyed me? Why would I give him that?
Well, I'm going to answer that. Next, Judy says she can't choose between her husband, Danny, and her boyfriend, Lawrence. Danny, 33 years history. Lawrence buckled her knees. She wants to make a decision and says, whatever I say goes. I don't want that responsibility, but I am going to give him some things to think about. We'll be right back.
I'm in this situation now where I have my husband pulling on me, wanting me to come back to him, and then I have Lawrence on the other hand that wants to spend the rest of his life with me.
A couple months ago, I moved back into our home. We decided to try and fix our marriage. Everything was like normal. During those 4 days, it was like a honeymoon again. We were intimate every day. And then 4 days later, she said she wasn't ready to do it yet.
As long as I have those visions in my head of that other woman, I can't fix this.
She's still angry for what I had done and also had feelings for another person. So I continued living there, sleeping in another bedroom. She would continue to see him.
Bringing Danny back into the home has really impaired my relationship with Lawrence. I don't let Lawrence pick me up at my house. If I go away with Lawrence, I meet him somewhere. You have to be respectful.
Well, comment on that.
That's very painful to stay at home and watch that happen. But
I've been tortured since I let him move back in to see that I'm still living my life one day at a time.
But I have
you say it's respectful to go meet your boyfriend down the street.
Well, the way I look at this is Danny dissolved my marriage vows. I have a marriage certificate. I don't have a marriage. He dissolved the vows that we took before God, and he dissolved them with his actions. So I don't have a marriage. I have a marriage certificate that holds me legally bound to him and all our assets together. But as for Lawrence coming and picking me up, I didn't want to disrespect Danny or hurt Danny. Danny is being tortured ever since he moved back into the house to see that Judy is up, functioning, living her life, and moving on one day at a time. Judy can't take a week at a time, but Judy can do one day at a time. And as for Lawrence, Lawrence is willing to accept one day at a time. You know, he knows that there might not be a tomorrow for him. He wants me to be happy, and he wants me to be in my happy place. Danny did not care if I had a happy place. And for him to want me back now, how do I trust that? I don't know how to trust that, but I'm like thinking like you were just saying. The dog didn't want the bone, and then the dog wants the bone now because another dog wanted the bone. You know, so...
I knew you'd get it.
I got it. I got it. But the thing is, Lawrence doesn't want to give up his bone now. He's not willing to do that.
And neither does Danny.
So, you know...
Well, Judy says she's having a tough time choosing between her husband of 31 years and her new boyfriend of 3 months. A man who Judy says is like a drug to her.
When I'm with Lawrence on the weekends, I'm in my happy place. And then as time goes by and I have to get ready to go back home, I have to go back to reality. And I have to fight again with my emotions. Danny is the Danny that I have known for 33 years. Do I trust him? Absolutely not. And that's what I'm having a hard time with here. How do you trust someone that walked in one afternoon and just walked away from it all and then wants to come back like nothing has happened here? Lawrence makes me happy. I had the opportunity to stay with Lawrence, I would stay with Lawrence. But the reality of it is, Danny and I have our assets, we have our family, and there's a lot to be worked out. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to go through all that. Lawrence wants me to be happy. He thinks I need a break from everything. And he offered me to come be with him, and he would pay me my salary for 3 months, take a mental vacation from everything. I'm in this situation now where I have my husband pulling on me, wanting me to come back to him, and then I have Lawrence on the other hand that wants to spend the rest of his life with me. I can't decide which way to go because either way I go, somebody's going to be hurt, and nobody needs to be hurt.
Okay, now look, here's where we are on this. Do you count your history with him of 30 years and your family and all the things that you talked about treasuring so much? Does that have a value? Does that have a valence? Does that have a weight to you?
Absolutely, it does. I love my husband.
You love your husband.
I've always loved my husband.
And you've got a history with your husband.
I do.
But then on the other hand, there's Lawrence, and it's fresh and it's exciting.
It is.
And it makes you feel valued and wanted and kind of re-energized your
correct.
self-worth, which had been seriously damaged.
That's correct.
But there's a big difference between falling in love and being in love. Falling in love is like skydiving. It's fun, it's exciting, it's exhilarating. Being in love is like landing and not killing yourself. I mean, there's a difference between the two.
Yeah, but I didn't plan to fall in love with him.
No,
I
I'm
wasn't
not
looking
saying
for that.
he pushed you out of the plane. I get that, but
He's telling me that he's never loved. He's 57 years old, and he's never loved a woman the way he's loved me. But I'm at the point where now, I don't know if I want to be married ever again.
it's time for me to tell you what I think.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
No.
The odds are against you here, you and Lawrence. I mean, I'm not saying he's not fun to go to the lake with.
Right.
Lake Lawrence is
Right.
probably a lot of fun. But at home, Lawrence,
She's mentioned his flaws already.
all of that.
Well,
I mean,
a woman is a piece of glass, and you got to remember, you got to keep those edges polished. You have to, you got to
Always
take
have.
care of her. You have to, make her feel like a woman.
Lawrence said that?
No, I told him.
Oh, you told him. Okay. Right. Well, the thing is, right now, when you look at your husband, you see this other woman.
I do.
When you look at Lawrence, you see Lawrence.
I see Lawrence.
At the lake, hair blowing in the wind.
Yeah. He's handsome.
All that, right?
Look at him. He is handsome.
Yeah, he's
57 years old.
Yeah, he's handsome. I'm sure Danny.
I mean,
thinks
he's offered me a life that I never wanted.
Has the boy got some money? I mean,
Well, he can provide me financial
trying to buy
security.
her, no doubt.
He wants me to be happy.
what you know is what Lawrence has told you.
Lawrence from the beginning took me to meet his very closest friends because he wanted me to know who he was.
Right.
And he has.
Well, that's helpful.
He has. But he was upset because I kept him in the closet. I wouldn't bring him around my family. But my daughter is not going to allow another man to be in her children's life as Mimi or Pap.
No.
And that's
It
weighing
is.
heavy on me.
It is.
It is weighing heavy on me,
Well,
all that.
all right. It's time for me to tell you what I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can I say something?
No.
She was there for me when she was there for me during my mental separation from her, and now I am there for her. I am her husband, and I'm just going to be there for her. I have an unconditional love for this woman. She's doing what she feels like has the right to do right now, and is it painful? Yes, absolutely. But I cannot give up on this woman.
Yeah. You a hound dog?
What's the definition of that?
Well, you skirt chaser? I mean, you
absolutely
going
not.
after another woman sometime? I mean,
Absolutely
these are the
not.
things that she has to weigh in her mind.
I understand that.
He wouldn't
I
even look at
understand.
women because he knows I'd bop him upside the head. That's disrespectful.
I have
That is
tried to be-
Which you've
disrespectful.
done.
Well, only in a moment of rage, I lost myself when I found out that he was with that woman and all those nasty text messages.
And you boxed his ears.
I busted him up pretty good. I didn't think I could ever do that.
I've tried to be the
Dr. Phill,
best.
he took me to a place I never want to go again.
Okay, well...
A woman doesn't act like that.
No. You are still hugely pissed. If you want to be happy and at peace this time next year, then you will make the investment of doing what I'm going to ask you to do. Would y'all like to hear what I think about this?
I do. That's why I'm here. You know I have to go to court Monday.
That's why we're here.
So we're down to the wire here.
We are. I have to fly back to West Virginia today, and I have to contact my attorney by Friday.
You have unfinished emotional business with him.
I do.
You are still hugely pissed.
I'm hugely pissed, and I'm, you know, Dr. Phill, here's the thing. I've loved this man with all my heart. Sexually attracted to him after 33 years, can't get enough. You know, I'm sorry.
No, I
I'm
get
sorry.
it. I get it. Look, here's the thing. Lawrence, charming, fun, high-risk guy, though, right? You recognize the high
Right.
risk? I'm
Right.
telling you, high risk. Okay, here you have unfinished emotional business. And I always tell people there is a time to get a divorce. And you know when that time is. The time is when you can walk out that door and say, I have turned over every stone. I have investigated every possible avenue of rehabilitation. I have no unfinished emotional business with this person. If you walk out mad, sad, you know, whatever, in some emotional deflected area, then you're not ready to get a divorce. If you want to be happy and at peace this time next year, then you will make the investment of doing what I'm going to ask you to do. Give me 90 days to arrange some very specialized help for the two of y'all to work through where you are right now. If Lawrence is for real, he will step back and respect that, and he'll be standing there on the 91st day. If you go with Lawrence right now, you will spend the rest of your life wondering what it is that caused you to walk away from a 30-year family. Your daughter, the grandchildren, that all of the things that y'all created together. And it's going to have to involve forgiving him. That doesn't mean you will forget it, but you will have to forgive it. And forgiving is a choice. It's not a feeling that comes over you one day, like a midlife crisis. It's something that you choose to do, you choose to own, and it really has nothing to do with him. It has to do with you saying, you know, let God judge that, but I'm not going to be held in that emotional bond for the rest of my life.
I'm tormented
of
daily.
bitterness. You got to be willing to let that go. And there may be some things, you may need a pound of flesh before you do that. There may be some things you need to work out. And I will arrange some just as our gift to y'all, I will arrange some very specialized help to do this. Give me 90 days, or if it's 60 days, whatever the intensity is, but I need a period of time for you to finish this business and then look at him where you don't see that other woman. You see the man that you spent 33 years with that got dinner ready for you so you could watch me. Okay? If I arrange this for you, and I mean, I will start it right now. I mean, by the time y'all get back, where you're in the air, this will be getting worked on for you to get this help and move forward. Will you give us that time? Now, there's a kicker. No Lawrence during that time.
Okay.
No Lawrence during that time. You got to say.
Starting right now?
You can talk to him. You can talk to him and tell him what you're going to do and ask him to respect that period. But you never solve problems in a marriage by turning away from your partner. And you never solve them by bringing in a third party.
Okay.
Okay, so will you do that?
I will. I will.
Fair enough?
I will. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough?
Thank you. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's why I was telling you. All right, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much. See you all. See you guys.
Today on Dr. Phill, a marriage based on lies.
He's been pretending to work for the past 5 years.
All the jobs were a complete lie.
He would tell you, I'm going to work. He would get in the van and sleep. When you had a house fire, was he helping you dig out of that, or did he race off to his pretend job?
Is he ready to face the truth?
I didn't know how I was going to come clean.
You are lying to me right now. Either tell me the truth or shut up. Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. All right, this is Mike and Kim. They seem like a happy couple. Mike looks like a nice guy. He served in the military, coached Little League, and was on the school board. So most would believe him when he says he worked for Major League Baseball teams like the Cubs, Texas Rangers, and even the Chicago White Sox. But did he? Well, nope, he didn't. It was all a big lie. He was actually spending his days sleeping in the car. And what is even more perplexing, his wife of 16 years says she had no clue.
I have lied to my wife so much I can't remember what I lied about.
He's been pretending to go to work for the past 5 years.
I was playing solitaire. After leaving the Air Force, I did feel pressure to land a great job.
The first job Mike lied about was the government contracting job in Germany. Mike had me quit my job of about 18 years and had me get a passport. We were supposed to move to Germany. And it was all a lie. After the contracting job, then he supposedly got a job with the Chicago Cubs.
I did get a job with a subsidiary of the Chicago Cubs, and I did inflate my resume. Got let go for gross incompetence and not knowing my job. Cubs care job is really the only job I ever had. All the jobs after that were a complete lie. They were made up.
He said that he was hired by Bud Selig of Major League Baseball.
When paychecks were supposed to be coming in and they weren't coming in, that's when I would pretty much say, hey, you know what, I've been let go.
Then he told me he was working for the Texas Rangers.
I told Kim that my job was mostly telecommuting and that I was able to work from our basement office.
When he was supposedly going to work, I guess he was in his car hanging out.
When I told Kim that I had to be out of town, I would have a pillow, I'd have a cooler, and I would I'd unroll the sleeping bag, sleep back here. It was trying to remember what I said, trying to figure out where I'm going next. It was horrible.
His lies were completely deliberate and destructive.
I don't know why Kim didn't catch on sooner. I'm really surprised that it lasted as long as it did.
Okay, even though Mike spun a web of lies, Kim says, well, she says she just did not catch on.
When Mike started lying about his jobs was right around the time that I lost our son, Jack, at 20 weeks.
Kim went into a deep depression.
I spent 2 years crying every night. That's when I needed him the most. And I thought I could count on him to take care of things.
I don't want to say it was easy, to do what I did, but, because she was so detached, and I took advantage and I started lying. After the tragedy of our miscarriage, we had a house fire approximately 3 months afterwards.
And then approximately a year and a half almost, we had another house fire. I was so busy dealing with tragedy after tragedy. Why should I have to worry about his job? I never had to check up on his jobs before.
It was easy to pull the wool over Kim's eyes. I shouldn't have, but I did, and I just kept lying.
Okay, I don't really know where to start. I kind of want to ask you why you were telling all these lies, but I don't really care. It doesn't really matter. Does it matter to you?
Yeah, because I just don't understand.
But, why do you care? Does it really matter? Is that just going to change your victim story? Seriously, what does it matter? Is it going to change what you say to yourself about it? Or Is it going to make it? Is there anything he can say that makes it okay?
No.
So why does it really matter? Do we really want to spend time talking about why he did it?
No.
I mean, listen, I'm very pragmatic, okay? So I'm just really wondering, do you really want to know why? If you do, we can ask him, and I'm sure he'll have some...
He'll lie about it.
I mean, no, he'll have some explanation, genuine or not. I mean, he'll have some explanation for it. I mean, do you really want to know why? I'll ask him.
No.
Are you past that? I mean, do you want to say why?
I wish I could say I knew why.
No, hold on. Listen, before you start, I got a meter that is so sensitive. I do. Listen, I got a meter that, I mean, it is so sensitive. You just breathe on it, it pegs.
Yeah.
And I just think that I deal with con men day in and day out. I have written a book about this called Life Code, New Rules for Winning in the Real World. I mean, I wrote a whole book about you. Okay. Seriously, and about you, what you got to do to win and everybody else in this real world. And part of it is spotting people like this that exploit other people. They have no empathy. They have no remorse. They have no guilt. They're self-destructive. They thrive on drama. They just don't care. They just jerk other people around. And then it deals with what you have to do, whether you encounter them or whether you don't, what you have to do to win in your life for you and those you love. I mean, it's a life code. And I mean, I've written a whole book about this. So, I mean, I'm sensitized to you. So if you're going to talk to me, you need to really think about what you say first, or this could be a really short conversation.
Absolutely.
So think about what you say before you say it.
It's not that I don't care for her. It's not that I don't love her, okay? When I started lying, I don't know. It's like it just came out naturally. It just happened.
I don't believe you. That is
well,
not natural. That is a crock. You got her to quit her job and told her you were moving to Germany.
I did.
Don't tell me that's natural. That's not natural. You are lying to me right now. Maybe you're lying to yourself. Either tell me the truth or shut up.
And lying to our son.
Come on. Listen, this is a threshold moment in your life. You have finally met somebody that is going to require you to tell yourself the truth, tell me the truth, and tell her the truth. Now, you can go talk to a therapist, and they'll say, okay, how does that make you feel? Mm-hmm. And how does that make you feel? Uh-huh. Come back next week and tell me how that makes you feel. Uh-huh. Gotcha. Or you can just meet some old country boy from Texas that's going to just tell you that's a load of crap. That's a load of crap. You did not just one day open your mouth and just, we're moving to Germany, quit your job. Now, come on. What the hell is going on?
I think when I started lying and continued to lie, I don't know if I didn't think I actually was capable, worthy of what she thought I could be, what she thinks I can be. Kim is my #1 cheerleader. She always has been. She has always been there for me. I don't know if I was my own cheerleader. Did I abuse everything? Absolutely. Did I lie? In the worst way. I don't know, maybe I just wanted things to look better. I don't know.
Somebody doesn't just start lying like that, right? I mean, he's had to have lied his whole life. You don't just start that.
Have you come clean with her now?
Yes, sir.
About everything?
I believe so,
No.
yeah.
Huh?
I said I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing outstanding right now. You've told her everything.
No.
There's 5 years worth of lying in there. I'm sure there's something in there that hasn't come to light.
Well, I'm talking about major things. I'm not talking about whether you went to the store and actually you didn't.
Major things, yes.
You've come clean on everything.
Yes, sir.
You've told her everything. Do you have a college degree? That's not an essay question. I want to take a look at the lies that Mike has told Kim about his work when, in fact, he never had a single job. Okay, March '09, you said you got a job with KBR, Global Engineering, it's a contracting firm
Yes.
in Germany, right?
Well, they're out of Houston, Texas.
Yeah, well, you were moving to Germany.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you had a job, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he wanted you to quit that job.
I had to quit to move overseas, yes.
Right, and did you?
Yes.
Okay, so you had a paying job that was bringing in money,
Yep.
supporting the family,
Yes.
and you didn't have a job.
No, sir, I did not.
Okay, so you had her quit the only job the family had to prepare to move to a job you didn't have.
Fictitious job, yes.
Okay, now tell me again how this was all because she was your cheerleader. You wanted her to believe in you, so you're going to inflate yourself to the point that you have her quit the only job the family has in support of a job you didn't have, right?
Yes, yes. That's true.
Okay, so you're so egomaniacal that you want her supporting your fictitious job at the expense of the only job your family had.
That is correct.
And you. Okay.
I know, that's...
February 10, you said you got a job with the Chicago Cubs.
Yes, sir.
Did not.
No, sir.
March 10, no paycheck from the Cubs because there was a mix-up at work.
Correct.
All right, May 10, you got 2 promotions with the Cubs.
Fictitious.
No job, so you can't get a promotion.
Correct.
So you got promotions at a job you didn't have. July 10, fired from the Cubs. But after some time unemployed, you do get a job in November 10 with Major League Baseball in New York.
Fictitious.
Didn't
yes,
exist.
Correct.
Okay. December 10, you're fired from Major League Baseball office because you had a conflict with Bud Selig.
Correct. Fictitious.
The
but
commissioner of
correct.
baseball, you and him had a conflict.
Yes, fictitious, but correct.
Right.
That's what I said.
Yeah, because you couldn't get along with the commissioner of baseball.
Not what you told me, but it doesn't matter.
February 11, you got a job with the Texas Rangers.
Fictitious.
Fictitious. Okay. August 11th, you're fired from your fictitious job with the Rangers.
Correct.
And August 11th, you're hired again by the Rangers. Apparently
Correct.
resolved your fictitious differences with your
Yes.
fictitious job, and you go back to the work with the Rangers. So December 11, Kim prepares the family to move to Texas for the job that you had with the Rangers, and then right before the move, you say, oh, we're
I
fired.
lost my job. Correct.
Because you can't go down there because you don't have a
I
job.
don't have a job.
But in February of last year, last minute, you got a job with the White Sox.
That is correct.
Fictitious.
Fictitious.
So no job.
Correct.
Okay, now those weren't the only lies he was telling you, though, right?
No, yeah.
His other lies, you said you got a 6-figure settlement from your lawsuit against the Cubs.
And that was fictitious.
But you didn't have a lawsuit with the
We had
Cubs
no money
because
to
you didn't
have a
have
job.
a job with the Cubs, so you had no settlement from the Cubs. You said you got a VA grant, but you never received a grant.
Correct.
You said you had an offer on $1 million house, but you lost the deal years ago.
Yes.
IRS froze your bank account, but you had no bank account,
Correct.
so they had nothing to freeze. The house had been in foreclosure for 1.5 years,
That is correct.
but you never told Kim that.
That is correct.
Okay. You've told her everything. Do you have a college degree? That's not an essay question.
No.
You don't have a college degree,
No, sir.
but you've told her you have a college degree.
I have.
He's got no college degree.
I figured.
He hadn't told you that till
No,
today.
right.
So that's,
I kept asking him.
yeah,
Because
you just told me
after-
you've told her everything, but until right this moment, you've never told her you didn't have a college degree.
That is correct.
Why did 5 minutes ago you said, yes, I've told her everything? I said, everything major. Not did you go to the store or not, everything major. You said, yes, everything major, except there's one. You didn't tell her you didn't have a college degree.
I don't know. It's.
Were you just going to leave that one out?
I guess so. I mean, this is very hard for me to come forward right now. It's
Well, you
it's
picked a hell of a
liberating.
place to not come forward. Are you like
Stupid.
Miss Gullible?
I didn't think I was. I thought I was, a good judge of character. I thought I could spot liars. And so.
I get the feeling I'm more upset about this than you are.
No, I'm very upset about it. I can't even wrap my head around the fact that 17 years of my life was a lie. I mean, I don't know how I could be so wrong about somebody. I don't know how that's possible.
What do you think when you look at him?
I don't even know him.
This is the man that you walked down the aisle with. This is the man you've crawled in bed with. This is the man you had children with. This is the man you planned your future with. And everything he has told you for all of these years, he would tell you, I'm going to work. He would get in the back of the van and sleep. He'd say, I'm going to New York. He'd go to Chicago and sit on a bench.
Yeah, I mean, everybody thought we had a great marriage. I thought we had a great marriage. And I was in love with him. We renewed our vows every year. So I don't know how that's possible that I can't see. I've been beating myself up about it. I'm really hard on myself as it is. And I don't know how I could not see this. I mean, it feels stupid. It's how somebody could say they love you and lie to you like that. And our son, who's like the best kid, you don't deserve him.
I don't.
What's he think about this?
Well, he said that he thinks of him as an empty shell. And I just talked to him Sunday, and he said, I asked him what he thought of his father, and he said he doesn't think of him as his father anymore. He thinks of him as just this guy. He thought he had the best father in the world, and it's completely different. He's having a hard time with it.
Did you ever see a paycheck? Did you ever ask to see a paycheck?
No.
She did ask to see paychecks.
I don't remember that, but
I just danced my way around it.
Did you ever notice there wasn't any money?
well, I wasn't working, so I wasn't going to the bank that much. I was really, I don't really spend a lot of money. I don't go out. Everything's pretty much online.
Did you ever look
like
in the
the bills.
sock and it was empty?
No, I completely trusted him, and everything's done online, and, our banking and our bills, and, I saw him paying bills sometimes online, and I wasn't getting any notices. I didn't get any phone calls on past due. I think he changed the numbers on things, because I didn't get any phone calls on my credit cards.
How did you think this was going to end?
I knew it was going to end horribly. I just didn't know when it was going to end. I didn't know how I was going to come clean on it. I didn't know.
Well, you didn't come clean. When she started
never
asking, you lied some more, right?
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I just kept adding on to it. I just kept piling it on. I would come up with elaborate stories.
So what do you want to do now?
I want to be clean. I want her. I want my wife. I want Kim to be in love with the same person that she met 17 years ago.
That person doesn't exist. I was in love with something that didn't exist. He's not that person, right? You're not that person. We'll never be together again.
Well, let's take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about how Kim can stop being victimized and start being victim-wise. Be right back.
After all the lies came out and we were going through our bills, Kim got so frustrated with me, he choked me.
I did choke him because I wanted to punch him, but he's got an 18-inch neck, so I knew I wouldn't hurt him.
I did deserve it. I deserve more.
Mike told very elaborate lies. He kept his phone on vibrate all the time, and he would answer the phone and have complete conversations that sounded real. He had made up stories of friends that he didn't have. He had some guy die. Mike was a phenomenal liar.
Well, that was about how far Mike would go to cover up his lies, but he says he could not stop, and his surprise Kim didn't catch on sooner.
The entire time my husband was working in the basement in his office, I thought things were weird. Working from home as much as he did, he would answer the cell phone, but it never was on. It never rang. My sister doubted him and called Major League Baseball, and they were told that no, Mike worked there. In retrospect, I think there were warning signs.
Okay, I want to talk to you guys kind of individually. Kim was deceived by her husband, Mike, for years. And it is time for her to stop allowing him to exploit her. Now, I'm going to tell her how, and I've written it all down in my new book called Life Code, The New Rules for Winning in the Real World. So I'm going to tell Kim how to finally win big in her life and stop being victimized and start being victim-wise. And there is a big difference between being victimized and being victim-wise. And I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do. And then I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do. Yes, sir. And you're going to be surprised that I have more belief in you than you probably have in yourself. And I'm going to tell you why I do.
I'm surprised by that.
In a minute. Okay, listen. I don't know what's going to happen between you two. I don't. That's going to be a decision that you have to make. But let me tell you, when I kind of wrote Life Code in two parts, and it was interesting. I wrote Life Code with my son, Jay. He kind of worked on this book with me because he has a publishing company called Bird Street Books, and he actually published this book. And I wrote it because my kids were born into a very different world than I was born into. This world is changing, and the challenges are changing. And if you want to be a winner in your life, if you want to land on your feet after all this, there are certain things you have to do, and you're going to have to lead your son through this. I mean, this has shaken him to the core, has it not? Mm-hmm. And so he's now looking at you saying, Mom, what's up here? And see, I think you made a fundamental error that all of us were taught. And one of them is that we give people the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, that's the thing you do. You look for the good in people and you give people the benefit of the doubt. I think that is a big mistake, particularly in this day and time. Why do that? Why give people the benefit of the doubt? Because it sounds like the right thing to do? That to me is crazy. I don't think it was ever right, but it's certainly crazy now in this day and time. Why give people benefit of the doubt? Why not say, let's just keep an open mind and collect data? I talk in Life Code about the Sweet 16. There are 16 things that every winner I've ever studied in my life, and I've been studying them since I was 12 years old, there are 16 things those people do. And one of them is they are always in investigatory mode. You were not in investigatory mode. Come on. You tell me you, looking back, you didn't see warning signs? Come on. You didn't see warning signs looking back?
I always was that kind of person, I felt like. And then, you know, after the tragedy started happening, I just checked out. I mean, for the last few years, I've been saying to myself that I don't recognize myself anymore.
You couldn't take off work from your pretend job? You couldn't get a pretend leave of absence to deal with your not pretend fire? What do you think the frequency is of house fires in America?
A lot. It's a lot.
No, it's not.
No?
How many families in America you think have 2 house fires?
Well, I know, yeah. And in a year and a half.
Yeah. And you now believe he set at least one of them, don't you?
I question it, yeah.
You question whether or not he set the second house fire.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
No, sir, I did not. I adamantly will tell you I did not set that house fire.
Well, I don't know whether you believe him or not, but you had 2 house fires in a year and a half. That is really bad odds, okay?
Well,
you had
questioned
warning
it
signs.
At that second fire, and the firemen made me feel better about it.
Yeah, and when you had the second house fire, was he really diving in there and helping you dig out of that, or did he have to race off to his pretend job?
He was, off on his pretend job while me and his brother and I were.
That was the first one.
You
The
had
first
to
one,
race off to your pretend job. You
did.
couldn't take off work?
I wasn't there. I know. I wasn't there. I wasn't supportive.
See, this just doesn't add up. You couldn't take off work from your pretend job? You couldn't get a pretend leave of absence to deal with your not pretend fire? See, come on. Look, you have to understand. You, looking back, there are things I'm wanting you to do differently. You have to be, you can't give people the benefit of the doubt. You have to constantly be in investigatory mode. Winners deal with the truth. Winners deal with the truth. You can't be in denial. You can't have functional blindness. You can't look the other way. That's how you become victim-wise instead of victimized. You deal with the truth. It's not time to curl up in emotional fetal position. Don't show that to your son. Don't curl up and say, oh, we've been destroyed by this man. We have to get over here and curl up and treat the world as though it's a hurtful place. No, you step up and you deal with the truth. Become stronger from this. Get with your son and you say, look, we have each other here. We have each other. You have to have a defined image. Winners have a defined image. They decide who they are. And you're going to decide that you're either going to be a broken, betrayed victim who has lost all confidence because you didn't see what was happening to you, or you are going to say, as expensive as it was, this was tuition. I paid for an education here, and my image is I am a stronger woman for it. I will lead myself. I will lead my son. I will not be broken by this. I will stand strong, and I will walk out of my history. Go to school on this. Be stronger for this. Don't be broken by this. Be stronger by this.
I just feel like I've tried to get help along the way, and it just hasn't worked out, and it just feels like it's piling on more and more. And,
what do you hear me telling you?
I know, it's hard. I'm hard on myself. I feel like stupid. I feel like, I'm going to be judged, and I'm an idiot, and I didn't see this. And I feel bad I did that to my son, really. I mean, I'm responsible for him.
And you can have that internal dialogue, or you can do what I'm saying. You can do what you're saying and be a victim, or you can do what I'm saying and be a leader.
Well, I want to. It's very hard. I'm trying. I want to.
But you can do it. You can do it. You've got to decide, I'm either going to be a victim that's broken by this, or I am going to stand strong and I'm going to say, boy, did I go to school on this. I have learned my lesson. Never again will I bury my head in the sand. Never again will I not be in investigatory mode. Never again will I allow someone to lead me blindly down the path. Never again will that happen. This was expensive, but boy, did I get an education. I got a PhD. I got a black belt in life right here, and I am going to use it going forward.
Well, it's just, you know, it's like, where do you start? Because it's like,
are you kidding me? Am I not? Is this not on? What the hell were you thinking? Well, would you rather me wait 6 months and then talk to you? Because you can.
No.
Because you can feel sorry for yourself for 6 months.
No, I don't want to feel sorry.
No, you can. You can feel sorry for yourself for 6 months.
I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I really don't.
Because you deserve to, honestly. You can go curl up for 6 months, but I'd rather not. I'd rather you just decide, you know what? By God, I've had enough. I'm walking out of my history. My son and I are going to be better for this. That's what I want you to do. And you know what? I'll get you some help with that. I will get you and your son some help with this so you can implement everything that I'm telling you. I will give you each a copy of Life Code. I will give it to you in an audio book. I will give it to you in an e-book. I will give it to you in a hardback book. I will get you a therapist to read it to you every day. I will do whatever is necessary, but I want you to be better. And I will get you help with this. Will you take that help?
Yes.
I will get you that help. Because you can be better from this. You are better than that. I don't want you to be the victim here, okay?
Okay.
And I know, listen, I get that it's hard, but you can do this. And I don't know what you're going to do with him.
Well, we're done, but he's always my son's father, so.
And I know y'all are separated.
I don't know how to
I know y'all are separated.
I don't know how to deal with my son's relationship with him.
Well, I'm going to talk to him about that right now, okay? And you may support what I'm going to tell him, and you may not, but that's between him and I, he and I. But I've told you what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to get you some help with that. But I do want you to read Life Code.
I will.
And I'm going to give it to you in an audiobook, too, so you can listen to it when you're in your car, and when you go sleep at night, and you play it when you listen to it. It's very inspirational.
Okay.
You're going to hear me in your head. What the hell were you thinking?
I wasn't.
Yeah, you really weren't.
No, I wasn't.
Listen.
Let
me tell you what happened here, and I'm going to tell you why I'm really going to help you here. You got into this, and you told one lie, in my opinion, because you were ashamed to tell the truth. You were ashamed to go admit, I can't get a job. And you were proud, and you were ashamed to say that. And then one lie turned into two, and two turned into three, and then at that point it's like, hell, I can't go tell her now I've been lying. And then pretty soon, you're like a rat in a maze and you can't find your way out. And then you kind of become a slave to the lies. And you keep thinking, I will get a job for real, and then it'll never come out. And then
that's what I was hoping.
I can just cover it up, and then it'll just go away. But that never came. I get it. Stupid, but I get it. And it just got away from you. You made some really bad choices, and I don't know that you can ever repair this with her. You must repair it with your son.
Absolutely.
And if your son is listening, to this. I hope he hears me when I tell him that he owes it to you and to himself to forgive his dad and try to work through this. I would love to be able to shake my head and walk away from this, but I've got a real soft spot in my heart for the men and women in this country that put on that military uniform and go stand in harm's way for me and my family and everybody else. And that is one thing that I have verified that you did in fact do and do with honor.
Yes, sir.
And for that reason, if no other, I am prepared to really step up and help you find your way back, because I do thank you for your military service and everything you did for this country, because you did so and you did so with honor. And I thank you. And I know sometimes it is hard to come from that situation and so much responsibility and so much leadership, so much contribution, to come back here and then you can't even find a job. And that is a tough transition, and people react to that in different ways. And I, for one, think we don't provide enough support and help for that transition. And that doesn't excuse and explain everything that you've done. But I'm not going to be party to those who don't help our men and women make that transition. That help should have been available to you then. I'm going to make it available to you now. I'm going to help you sort this out. I'm going to help you understand by getting you some professional help the error of your ways, the bad decisions. I am then going to get you some professional help to truly get a genuine, non-inflated resume in place. I am going to get you a professional placement and headhunter in position, and I'm going to make every effort to get you a legitimate position with a legitimate organization and get you employed in a proper way with a proper organization so you can hold your head up, look your son in his eye, and have yourself a future where you have a chance to move forward.
I just want to be an open book to him.
And so we're going to start there. Will you take that help from me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll take that help. And you don't object to me helping him in that way?
No.
And whatever happens with you two, we'll work out as we move forward, okay? Mm-hmm. No expectations, all right?
My priority is Kim and Ben.
I have one last question when we come back. Is there anything left that Mike has not told Kim? One last chance for him to come clean when we come back, and then we're done. We'll be right back. Well, I'd really like to thank my guest today. It is so important that even within a relationship that you really pay attention to what's going on and that you have open communication at all times. Now, is there anything else that you've thought of as you're sitting there that you feel like you need to share?
No, my mind is in a whirlwind right now. I can't think of anything. I mean, I feel like I've let it all out on the table.
Okay, all right, good enough. So we've got a plan for you, right? And you understand what I'm saying. I understand this takes the wind out of your sails, but you've got a choice about how you react to it. You can either say, I'll never trust anybody again, I'm devastated, I'm just going to curl up, or you can say, look, okay, that happened, I've gone to school on that, it's going to make me stronger, and I'm going to step out and wiser for the journey, and I'm going to play the game differently, but I'm not going to sit on the sidelines. And That's really what I want you to do. And I know that's easier said than done. That's why I said I'm going to get you some help with it. And I really want you to study, memorize Life Code. I'm going to wait a week and send you a multiple choice test. I am very proud to say that Life Code is published by my son Jay's publishing company, Bird Street Books. It's available in stores everywhere. You can get it at Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com and Costco and Walmart and just everywhere. And you guys don't need to do that because everybody in the audience is going home with a copy, okay? So you can find it. Thanks for being here. So long. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. So long. Here you go.